Well, hello, spooky friends. So I just want to jump on and kind of touch base, let everyone know kind of what's happening, and answer a few questions that I'm asked quite often. So I am planning to do a podcast with Alex. We're working at the details of that and getting some scheduling together, which will be really interesting. We'll have guest hosts on there. Perhaps Spooktastic will join us, who's Catherine. So next order of interest, I'm going to the Necropolis tomorrow in Toronto with someone who's been a follower for a long time. Grace, we're gonna meet up and it's gonna be a really interesting adventure. We'll see what we can catch. Hopefully we can catch something on camera. It'll be my first time outside with my new camera, so wish me luck. One of the questions I get asked a lot in regards to the spiritual side is, how do the ghosts speak to me? How do the spirits speak to me? I do cover this a little bit on my lives or when I get a chance to speak with you guys, but the best way I can explain it is they compel me with imagery or like a feeling, like an absolute need. So someone will say, be walking by me on the street, and I'll literally feel the need to speak with them. And it's almost as if my own body is not speaking to you when I have these messages. And for those who have already received readings from me, I don't even know how to explain it. Another question I get asked is, are my family members around? Is my dad around? Is my mom around? Is my sister around? Is my aunt around? And the answer is usually yes. It's very few and far between where they just die and then they pass on and their spirit is gone. Sometimes, yes, the energy is reused, which is beautiful, wonderful, and that's exactly what we want, but it's not always the case. They will stay with you, they will guide you. Some spirits will leave to become a guide elsewhere. They'll be called up to a higher purpose, which is wonderful and beautiful. When I say that the spirits cross over, I just mean that the energy that they had in this particular being has dispersed. So they might be reborn, they might become something else. They might become another relative of yours, or they might become someone different altogether. However, the energy on the other side is completely different. It's a whole other dimension. It's not like what we are. Another question I get asked a lot is, do my pets speak to me from the other side? The answer is yes. Your pet, if they loved you, will always be with you. They won't necessarily be in like a dog-like state or a cat-like state. The energy of their emotional attachment will remain with you. The rest will move on. I feel like the soul is comprised, and this is gonna sound like Scientology, but the soul is comprised of so many different parts and beings, and that the chakras align those particular fragments together. It's a little bit crazy of me to say this, and I think that that's the case. That's just what has been indicated to me and how I feel. What are your thoughts on that? I'd love to know. So as far as ghost adventures go, with COVID being a real big problem getting around, I haven't been doing that. However, I'm gonna go to some places that I think necessarily are haunted. I'm going in, and I think that Alex Alchemist, his channel does this the best. You're not going in to antagonize the spirits. If you go in with the wrong intention, you're gonna get the wrong intention. So for me, you may not see items flying across the room. I mean, you very well could, but you might not see items flying across the room. You may not see door slamming and all these crazy things that all these people get to see. For me, it's more, they guide you, they want to find the truth, and it's because I'm going in with the intention of finding truth. And I feel like my spirituality has brought me to that. This also brings me to people asking about my religion. What do I believe religiously? And the answer is really simple to that. I was raised Christian or Catholic, kind of a mix of the two. I noticed as a kid that I didn't necessarily understand or agree with everything that I was like seeing and hearing. So I won't get into the semantics of the church and those things. I don't love the Bible, and I hope that I don't make anyone angry. I don't love the Bible. I don't follow the teachings of the Bible. However, I find that the Holy Spirit is the same spirit that is my joie de vivre, like it's my joy of my life. And one thing that I can say about this Holy Spirit is that it fills me with such joy. I feel like we are all spiritually connected. We are all brothers and sisters. I think that how we feel on the outside may be different than how we feel on the inside. So people who are born a certain way and then they feel another way, I think those people are completely valid in how they feel. And I think that my purpose on this planet is to help you, all of you, to get back to that spirituality. Forget the semantics of which book is correct, what person is correct, who's saying what. It doesn't matter. What matters is what's in our hearts. And I think that for so long we've all skipped on what's in our hearts. And so that's what our spooky community is about, is getting back to the basics. Like, yeah, spooky, cool hauntings. It's really interesting to see this other dimension touching ours. But we also need to remember that the other side is just so close to us. And they wanna talk, they wanna share their information, they wanna be able to learn more and to help us. And specifically, they do wanna guide us. So for me, I feel like me being sensitive, and other people, there are a lot of people in our crew that are also sensitive, we're helping guide you to the answers that you're looking for. Let me jump to TikTok. So Alex Alchemist asks, do either the spirits in your home or others ever infiltrated your dreams and give you messages? The answer is absolutely yes, Alex. I get dreams all of the time related to spirits or related to messages, but the spirits in my home do give me messages. More so, it's more so about them than it is about me. It's about providing them closure and providing their family closure. As everyone knows, I've been dealing with this one spirit, and I won't name him right now, but I've been dealing with him in my home. He came off as a really fun, jovial spirit, but things have slightly changed with him harassing both my dog and my partner, and that's something that I just don't stand for. So we're working together to find him some kind of solution privately. He doesn't want me talking about it, and I'm respecting that as a noise happens next to me. I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about the situation, but I digress. Will I be making a podcast? Yes, Alex and I will be making a podcast together. Cute Little Medic asks, is the evil eye good or bad? I've heard different stories about this and I don't know which one is true. So, the evil eye, which I'll picture somewhere, it is just a talisman which is supposed to ward away evil. In some cultures, I believe, and I'm not going to quote this because I'm not part of that culture, but I believe in Arabic cultures and as well as in the Greek culture, when people look at you and they're jealous of you, they're giving you an evil eye, which is they're sending negative intentions at you. And so this talisman is supposed to protect you from that, if that makes sense. We just have to be aware of what's happening with that. Dusty Denolan asks, have you ever had any personal situations? Absolutely. I've had since I was 6 years old till now. And 6 years old is really when I was 100% sure that I was speaking to a spirit. It started at around 3. It just kind of kept going, and I've always had these spirits come to me. Also, interesting fact, I just saw an orb in my house. Interesting story. I recently saw a post on TikTok, someone had tagged me in, about a dream that a girl had when she was 3 of flying down the stairs. And I remember now, I've specifically had that dream where I've flown down the stairs, but knowing full well that I can't actually do that, that could be a spiritual residual energy, which is really interesting. So Mike Senior Gimpledell asks, why have you not done a Randonautica app hunt? I've actually done 2, well technically 3, but I've done 2 Randonautica app hunts, and the thing that really scares me about that, and Alex Alchemist had the same type of thing, it's sending me to areas where there's no people. It's sending me to populated areas where it's like dark alleys, and I'm in Toronto, dark alleys and things like that, and I just didn't feel comfortable being in those areas. I don't think it was sending me to a spiritual area. It was telling somebody that I was there all by myself. I think that there's a lot of happenstance with Randonautica, and I don't believe that it's an app that we should be using right now, unless you really want to be scared or very brave. So Angel Dolphin 01 says, what is the one thing that you would like to learn more about paranormal wise? I don't know if it's necessarily paranormal, but I would really, and I think that this is one big reason why I made this channel, is I want to study myth. I want to study legend. I want to study, the reasons where, these things that we believe in, why do we believe in them and where does it come from? And kind of shaking up a little bit about what did people think about and why did they think that? Such as my Lilith video, my vampire video, my werewolf video. Where did these beliefs come from and why do they exist, and is there some truth? And I think that that's something with paranormal with me. I was born a skeptic, had my experiences, and now can't ignore them. So Donna Thomas 19 asks, what advice do you have for someone wanting to get into paranormal investigating? One thing I would say, Donna, is make sure that you prepare yourself. For instance, make sure that you are meditating and taking care of your mind, body, and soul. This is something that 605 Paranormal have brought up many times on their live when people ask them this, and I totally agree with them, just to quote them. You have to be mentally prepared that something might happen, because the more scared you get, the more you're disrespecting this spirit. They're wasting their energy on you to tell you that they're there. So make sure you're going in with the best intentions. Make sure you're going there to learn and not to be scared. If you're looking into paranormal, also, make sure you're doing your research in regards to where you're going and what those spirits might be going through, so you can come in with empathy. And I think that's something like me coming through as an empath might say, but I think that that's really important. So those are some of the questions that I had from TikTok. So on YouTube, Pierre Martin has asked, why is it that when I think of someone living, they will appear with the next day or two maximum, even when I have not thought of them in many, many years? That is really interesting, Pierre. And I think what that is you are psychically intending to see them. So either they're putting the intention to be at that spot and something inside of you, whether that be a guide or your spirituality, is telling you that they're going to be there, so that when you do see them, you're not shocked. It's a glitch in the matrix. It's that spiritual side telling you like you're going to see them, be prepared. And I find that really interesting, and I wish that would happen to me more. But let's say, for instance, I'll think about my mom or my sister, they'll call. We are all connected psychically. So maybe they were thinking of you, or they were thinking of going to a spot that you were intended to be at. I hope that made sense. It's a little weird, but I know. So Emma Lynn asks, what does it mean if I have dreams of people who are still alive giving you advice? So Emma, what that could possibly be is your guides haven't been successfully getting through to you on their own. So they're using the faces of people that you do know so that you won't be like freaked out when they come through. And they're coming through to give you advice that you should know. So do listen to it, meditate, ask them to come forward and speak to you. I hope that answered some of your questions. I love getting your questions. I think that they are like so fantastic, such good questions. The final one I always get is, how do I connect to the other side? Follow me on my journey. Follow my meditation. I'm gonna do another video because the quality wasn't great on that, but make sure that you're meditating, make sure that you are joining the community and working on it. It's a muscle that you need to work in order to kind of reach the other side. The veil between both worlds is always thin. I don't think that there's like a massive change, but I think that this is the time of spiritual awakening where we're all kind of like starting to wake up and understand that the world is as it is, but it's not how it has to be. So yeah, that's the question I get asked a lot, is how do I connect to the other side? Start with meditation, start with putting your intentions forward. Oh, one thing that a lot of women ask me is, how do you get over a specific situation, or how do you overcome an obstacle, or how do you get rid of your anxiety? One thing that I like to suggest, this is sort of witchy. I wouldn't say that I'm a witch by any way, shape, or form, but write down your negative thoughts on a piece of paper and burn them. That definitely helps with the visual. Make sure you do it in a safe place, please. It helps in a visual place. You can even just throw them in the garbage, but then they're kind of still there. It helps with the visual, like actually letting go, and just know like you deserve better. What is more important than those negative feelings? Let's focus on the more important things. It is a little bit of cognitive behavioral therapy that I've learned personally from taking therapy, but it's taking those negative thoughts and destroying them. And that visual of burning them is also really beautiful. So that's something that might help those who are having trouble moving on from things. But yeah, so those are some of the questions that I've come up with. Please let me know if you have any more in the comment section down below. Please be sure to like this video to help me out. And if you're not already, please subscribe. I'm gonna come out with some haunted content. And again, the Necropolis video is coming out. Also, my TikTokers, keep up the great questions because they are amazing and I love them. And thank you guys so much for allowing me into your space for a little bit. I really love being here, and I will see you